सुरस सुबोधा विश्वमनोज्ञा ललितारुद्या रमणीया अमृतवाणी संस्कृत भाषा नैव क्लिष्टा न च कठिना नैव क्लिष्टा न च कठिना. This song is sung all over the world, and now it is very popular. That Sanskrit is very easy, it's very simple language, and it's not a difficult language. Don't misunderstand that Sanskrit is difficult.
Yes. Hello everyone. I, Tanaya Deo, welcome you all to our Independence Day special episode of Unwrapped. Our guest for today is a person who loves languages. She has her own language academy and she has conducted more than 250 spoken Sanskrit camps. She has also taught over thousands of people Sanskrit and she is the state education head at Sanskrit Bharati. She also became everyone's favorite because she has written rhymes in Sanskrit. She has students from all over the world who learn from her languages and also soft skill development, and she also trains students in teaching. She is also a doctorate in Bharatnatyam and she is currently pursuing her doctorate in Sanskrit. So our guest for today is Varsha ma'am. Thank you so much ma'am for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
So our first question to you will be that, as I said, that you are, you love languages. So how did your interest in languages develop?
Actually, from childhood, it happened that I read a lot in Marathi. I read a lot in my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Marwadi actually, and it is similar to near to Hindi. So I read Hindi also, and I read Marathi. So reading made me love languages, and it happened naturally that I was learning Bharatnatyam from fifth standard onwards. So we were reciting all the shlokas in Bharatnatyam, all the mudras. So it happened naturally that I got in touch with Sanskrit.
Okay, so how was your journey from starting to learn Sanskrit to having a language academy?
Actually, I was knowing nothing. In school, it was too difficult for me. I just recited Bharatanatyam shlokas and I remembered all the mudras and I used them without understanding meaning. After 11th and 12th standard, I was in Ferguson College and I was invited for one students gathering. It was in Udupi.
Okay.
I visited over there as representative of Ferguson College, and I got to know that people are speaking in Sanskrit. So it was terrific for me. That was great experience for me. In 3 days itself, I started speaking. In my school, I was not mugging up all the words. I didn't remember all Rama, Rama, Rama. That turning point opened my eyes, and I was disillusioned. And I got to know that now I'll start speaking in Sanskrit. So I started full fledged and took admission in Sanskrit college and started working. Otherwise, I was specializing in something in Ferguson College in history. I was specializing. I continued with that, but I got some new view because of Sanskrit and started speaking.
Right. Speaking Sanskrit on a daily basis is kind of an unusual thing which you have mastered. So we are really in awe of your work. Now that the new education policy is introduced and we can choose our subjects and we have interdisciplinary education, so Sanskrit can be a very important tool through which we can have a diverse approach and get deeper into research because of Sanskrit. So how do you think Sanskrit is an important choice to be made by us students for further development of our country?
First computer was Panini. They named it by Panini.
Yes,
Why? Because
right.
Paninian grammar, by that Ashtadhyayi text, they got that idea that this is one software and we are supposed to make this, we should program the thing.
Yes.
So this programming has come from Sanskrit text because they write sutram. Sutram is small capsule which gives you a bunch of knowledge. It's a
Yes.
small capsule which you give, which provides you with a lot of knowledge. So these capsule making is a practical programming, and we learn that through Sanskrit itself. And this is needful in modern world because we are too much digitalizing ourselves, and we are with every time everything will be operating through programming.
Yes.
So what's needed for that is rich and technical language, which is Sanskrit itself. So it
Yes.
has been proven now that if you opt for Sanskrit, you can go for interdisciplinary research, because we have knowledge banks, many schools in Sanskrit, and we can get lot of knowledge through that. And it happens that our research approach is developed only because we are programmed.
So, like you said, Sanskrit is a very, very rich language. And for someone who is not learning Sanskrit academically, I mean, people who are interested in Sanskrit but who don't get the choice in these days, how do you think they should begin with learning Sanskrit? How should the Sanskrit application be there in their life?
See, till now, what was there? Our problem. I'll share my problem. That it was 1995 when people were not speaking in Sanskrit. Then I started speaking in Sanskrit. So it was very new in Pune, and people were so surprised that for 12 times I was interviewed in Indian Express and Times of India. You know, so this was very, very new at the time. Now it's not new. Crores of people are speaking, and Sanskrit has become reachable. So
Yes.
it is that if you opt for one field, it's impossible to opt for another field. This was the condition with us. Now, because of new educational policy, you can always be with what you know and what you know to do. So what kinds of skills do you acquire? So if you acquire the skill of having command on Sanskrit, it will naturally apply in your studies. So it's not needed that you are supposed to show some certificates or give exams. You just know it. You just know it, and you will be able to read all the texts, and you will be able to refer different ancient texts, and it will naturally help you in your own field. So
Right.
sometimes you can go for certificate courses, and those are available everywhere online also, in my academy also, certificate courses there.
I would like to mention that Sanskrit is not our mother tongue. Like my mother tongue is Marathi. You said your mother tongue is Marwadi. So from childhood, we start learning in our mother tongue, and all stories, all songs, and all of that we start learning from there, and that is how we imbibe a language within us. So like for Sanskrit, how do you think that application comes through in life? Because like I mentioned that you have written rhymes in Sanskrit, because Sai is your student and she keeps telling me about how you have taught her, and how we learn at home, whatever upbringing that is there at home, as connected to a language, that the same upbringing you give to students. So what would you like to talk about that?
Actually, language learning takes place through songs very well. And constructive rhyme is my concept. I have filed copyright for that. And constructive rhyme is a thing where we give some rhyming part to students, and students start rhyming on their own, adding new words by
Oh,
according to their experience. You know,
interesting.
so this is called a constructive rhyme. And constructive rhyme means what? For example, if I give you Ravi Gachati Shishushala. So प्रातःकाले दुग्धं पीत्वा रविः गच्छति शिशुशालाम्. So I'll say Sai गच्छति शिशुशालाम्. प्रातःकाले भोजनं कृत्वा. Something you can add
Okay.
according to your experience. And it goes on for half an hour. Students are singing, and naturally they learn, and it happens that they know language, and they start making sentences, and they ask their mother that what do you do? Pratakale kim karoti? So only Kim is needful. Only tell them Kim, and they will construct questions also. So this is the method. And if you go by this method, it's most easy to adopt language.
This honestly sounds very interesting. If I would have gotten this in my school days, I would have been a better Sanskrit spokesperson by now. So, like I mentioned before, that if someone is not learning Sanskrit academically, what does Sanskrit have to offer to someone who is not learning it conventionally?
enhances your brain coherence. You practically experience that your memory is increasing. Your whole system is operating in a very, very, very systematic way. Your systems are improved. Your stomach is gone well. Your eyesight is improving. Your tongue is twisting well, and you're feeling
Right.
clean inside. So this is, very subtle experience which is taken by many people, that you start speaking in Sanskrit, so you
Yeah.
can experience that how your respiratory system is operating. So it's practically a pranayam when you speak in Sanskrit. So you can
Uh,
experience that. So first offer which is given by Sanskrit to you.
Right. So this we also experience through religious texts that we read at home, stotras, shloks. So this is like a very basic way at home that we get introduced to Sanskrit. But what more can a person do to get deep inside and learn even more?
Yes. Now I'll differentiate that when you hear shloka or stotra, most of times the meaning is told to you,
Yes.
or you don't understand direct meaning.
Yes.
For example, you are calling your dog and you say get the ball, and if you say ball he will get. If you say get the pepper he won't get. So
Hmm.
this indirect understanding won't help you. And if you directly start understanding stotras, directly understanding Sanskrit words, it happens that in psychologically you're involved with that thing, and you start thinking in Sanskrit. So all the languages, they are connected somehow with Sanskrit, because 70-80% words are Sanskrit. How
Yes.
Spanish people have announced that in Spanish they have 70% words from Sanskrit. Their language is derived from Sanskrit. They have announced Sanskrit as their mother language. Uh, 2-3 years back, they have announced officially. So
Yeah.
naturally, it happens that your word vyutpatti means your basic morphology of the word is connected with Sanskrit.
Yes.
So your interconnection with all the languages is revived, and you become so logical and psychologically very, very strong, and it starts operating with your emotional centers. I have noted that how people, students have gone very, very calm because of Sanskrit learning, and how they have uh, right logic. They are not mistaking in their logic because they are very, very clear with their words,
Hmm.
their self talk, and what they're thinking of.
Very interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought of Sanskrit in such a way till now. So, like I mentioned before, that you are a doctorate in Bharatnatyam, and also like you mentioned before about the mudras and how you started learning and how you started developing interest in Sanskrit. So, what would you like to talk more about the same, being Bharatnatyam being an art form merged with a language? How does that come together and get you to what you are today?
See, if you have observed, Bharatanatyam has become very stagnant dance form. Do you agree with that? People are going for Kathak. They're enjoying Kathak, and
Yes.
they say that oh, Bharatanatyam is so boring. No, I can't
Yeah.
see it for long. You know how this complaint has come, because fluency and that fluency and rasa nishpatti, that is, you create a flavor that has lost to some extent in Bharatanatyam. And
Hmm.
this is only because we are separated from Natya Shastra, that is original text. It is 400 BC. Its date is. It's very old, and whichever texts we referred for from our childhood, those were Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas are dependent on original texts. I started referring only because of Sanskrit, and I got to know that many mudras are changed and they are not understood in their original form. For example, for small kids, this Brahmara Hasta is taught like this, and this is done by all the students like Brahmara Hasta,
Yes.
and actually told in Natya Shastra like this. Brahmara Hasta, it is like that. In my childhood, I thought that they are wrong and they are doing this, but
Hmm.
this is Urdu. So this type of many mudras are there which we can revive them, and I have revived them practically, and I'm teaching them. So it happens that it brings fluency in your dance. For example, karanas are also not understood to their depth, because definitions are in Sanskrit. And whatever they are doing, Bharatnatyam Karanas, those are contrasting to the definition. And this is my urge to establish Bharatnatyam by that way, which will have its own fluency. And this is only because of Natya Shastra, which is in Sanskrit.
But I think definitely all the teachers all over India who have learned Bharatnatyam like you, they should be knowing these things also. It is very very important to know that there has been change in between of what was there originally and what we have come down to now. And uh, even
And
though
you
that
see,
keeps changing, I think this
yeah,
original thing should remain and should be there continuously on the same line.
yes, people are referring Natya Shastra, but they are referring translations, you
Oh,
know.
so again, the
So they should,
translation is a problem.
again, the translation is a problem. They should learn Sanskrit and start reading original text, Though I translate and give it to them, it's of no use. Some words are there which are not to be translated.
Sanskrit opens doors to the past, and also, it gives immense knowledge, like you said. So, foreigners have a keen interest in learning this language, which was born in India. And us Indian students are, not that interested. We are more interested in taking up foreign languages and, getting to know that more. You have taught thousands of students. So what is your take on this thing? Like, how does one person, even just one person, choosing Sanskrit over all these foreign languages change the scenario all in all?
Actually, Indian students are not understanding their assets, you know.
Hmm.
Foreigners are taking lot many efforts to learn Sanskrit because they take efforts for 4, 4, 5, 6 years, and it was very difficult. Means pronunciation was so difficult for them. Still, they don't leave and they keep learning. Gradually, what will happen that when foreigners will start speaking Sanskrit and which is not perfect, then for correcting, our students will start learning. I feel that this may happen.
Yes, this is something that totally might happen. So, an Indian student chooses this language, Sanskrit, over some other foreign language. How does that change, the mindset of other students?
I'll give you one example. I won't name, but one of my student, his sister was appearing for interview in NASA, and they asked her that, "Do you know Sanskrit?" Because regular Sanskrit classes are going on in NASA. So she said no. They said, "Are you ready to learn in near future?" Near future. So she said, "It's not possible for me because I'm not in touch and all." So they denied the job. So we have to pay attention that where the world is going on.
So this is an eye-opening experience that I've heard, because even like there will be a big number of students which goes outside India to find jobs every year, and my entire generation would be interested in going outside to learn more. Sanskrit has a base for almost all languages. Like I said before, it is the mother of all languages. And I feel that we should all be proud to, have Sanskrit at home, starting from religious texts, like which come from ancestors, to history, to and it has evolved now till school. And now that we are getting a choice as students, I think we should definitely choose Sanskrit over any other foreign language, because my personal experience, I had taken Sanskrit in 8, 9, 10. So Sanskrit has personally helped me a lot.
And in Shukra Vimana Shastram or in many Samhitas, which are connected to this technology, we have mercury coating, reference of mercury coating. Website of NASA, there is some project in further next 20 after 20 years that they'll search out how to coat mercury, and we have that solution in our texts. We should connect all these references with our new technology.
Our Vedas are, they have everything, and we are still not ready to study them. We are running outside and getting to know this information from some place like NASA, and that is just embarrassing, I must say.
Practically, these researches are happening, but they are not completed.
Yes.
They're not completed because interdisciplinary people are not joining with it. Lack of knowledge of interdisciplinary fields, that is stopping this research. And this will go when thousands of people are trying, then 10 can go. No? So research field is like that.
Okay.
So opting is most important. So you go for, you will get something or other. Nowadays, you are saying that Chanakya is giving you corporate tips. If Chanakya is giving us corporate tips, so why don't you go for that reading that original text?
We need to go to the primary source first, understand that, and maybe we can find a translation also.
One thing is very important, that translations are not working. There are very big misunderstandings about words in translations. Translations were done under British influence. And happened that deliberately parts were changed. So I will claim that this has happened. And we don't go fully with the text when we go for translation. So original text is the only solution.
So learn Sanskrit then. That is the message that goes out. So I would like to end this by saying that during this lockdown, we have all come close to all our families, and just like that, I think we should all come close to the mother of all languages, that is Sanskrit, and respect it, and respect it by starting to learn it and propagating it.
I would say that we should start with that sustainable lifestyle, which is connected with Sanskrit.
Yes, true. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe to Lifelines. Thank you.
So I'm pretty sure that you might be interested in Varsha ma'am's work after listening to all of this. So all the links related to her work are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching the video.